Yes, yes. Knock him out the box. We're back. We're back.
You got a fucking blade.
I do, because that's what you do. This is episode 82. My name is Vinny Paz.
82.
That's my co-host with the co-most, the left, right, left kid, Mr. Brendan Long.
That's right.
Ruining his
everyone's pulling knives in here. Everyone's fucking. What, you think you're the only one with a fucking knife?
True.
We got fucking knives.
This isn't even a good one. It's just I'll just get you with this.
This is just what I got. I just have what I got.
Yeah,
I got them all over the place.
This is just a steak knife.
I'll
go over there and get my Rambo knife. I'll shoot you with a gun through the.
You ain't shooting. You shoot your dick off over there. You ain't doing
oh.
This is starting off very hostile tonight.
It is. Well,
it's all because of you. You're talking. You were talking all kinds of.
Who I be?
Yeah,
he was talking about law, and breaking laws.
Got me all fucking nervous.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, we're gonna get. Yeah.
I'm sharpening up toothbrushes with baby oil on the floor over here.
Yeah, episode 82. We're back. Hope everyone's doing well. Last week was the Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend has always been huge for Top Ranks. You know, they really made it a thing with Tito, with Trinidad, and
Cotto.
With Cotto became even a bigger deal. So we'll get into that. I guess we should start off with some news and notes.
Real quick, how old do you want to feel right now?
Oh, you're gonna tell me something about a Cotto fight or something? Or
Cotto Judo was 17 years ago on Saturday.
I was thinking about because I was at Paulie.
Right. We were both at that fight. Yep.
I basically,
which was the year before.
Yeah, I basically went to every Cotto fight at the Garden to watch him lose.
Yeah, you hated Cotto.
Yeah,
love him.
Yeah.
That was the 07 Cotto Judo. I think I've said it on the show before. That was the most reckless I've ever seen the Garden in my entire life.
It was wild.
That shit was insane. I never seen more people. They had to escort Fat Joe out of there.
Yes.
I never seen more people people were jumping people. I don't think they knew the people that were in the fight. They were Harlem dudes, Uptown dudes and dudes from the Bronx were running up on people from Brooklyn, just asking them straight up, "Are you from Brooklyn?" And if someone said yeah, they got jumped. It was wild.
It was probably the closest thing to the riot at Galata Bow.
Yeah,
you know, it was chaos.
It was like a bunch of mini riots, and then the one thing that always, because those tickets were expensive to that fight.
Hell yeah.
They unfurled, that's the right terminology, a giant Puerto Rican flag. Yeah. And I was saying to myself, if I was underneath, in the middle of that, and I paid all this money to watch the fights, and this thing flies over my head, against my will.
Oh, yeah.
How do you even, I don't know who started it.
Right.
So you don't know how to stop it.
Of course.
And B, the level of inconsiderateness to do that to 30 people. I thought to myself, I was like, I'm so glad, because we were in the first tier, right on the right on the second level. And I remember being looking at my boys, it was 9 of us. We were like, I'm glad we're not down there. Because the ticket prices were similar for where we sat to down there.
Right.
And we opted to be up a little bit.
Yeah.
That undercard was forever too. It was Bobby Pacquiao was on it. Chavez Jr. was on it.
Yeah.
What a great night at the fights.
Yeah, I was with my brother. I remember Louis Collazo was sitting right near me. And yeah, man, that was great. The funny thing about how chaotic those Cotto fights were at MSG was Cotto's such a nice, mellow dude. It's not. He's not a bring the ruckus type dude. When it's a crazy fighter and shit gets crazy, you're like, all right, I expect this. This is wild. But Cotto wasn't on that on any levels. Wasn't then, isn't now. Just a genuinely nice guy.
I felt bad for the minimum wage security guards in that place.
The whole thing is a mess. And then
they were trying to hold it, just be hey, excuse me, the ticket says your seat is over here. I think you're in the wrong seat.
Yeah.
And they just got mopped.
And I just also felt bad for just the well-meaning Boricua fans who went to go see a fight because their guy was fighting. and however many few thousand people that were just wilding.
The bathroom, they were shooting CeeLo in the bathroom.
Yes,
I remember like there was like
it was like being on Rikers.
It was, I'm telling you, it was like intake at Rikers.
It was.
That's what it felt like to me. I was like, this is the most. I was like, yo, fuck it. I just gotta fucking go to the bathroom. And I remember I used to have this I had this Breitling, and I remember like, do I tuck it? Nah, fuck it, I ain't tucking this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course,
fuck
that.
All
of that stuff, especially
like I was like, if I tuck it, they're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and if y'all were 9 deep, it's like there's somebody else who's 30 deep. You know what I mean? So
it didn't mean a thing. And
it was me and my brother, and I'm like, yo, I mean, it is what it is. If someone sets it, we just gotta do what we gotta do. But it's not gonna be easy.
No, I remember like the dudes with the big, like look like the West Coast cholo braids, like them.
Yeah,
those dudes walking around.
Yeah,
just beating the shit out of people. Like
it was wild, man.
It was a wild night. And a great fight.
Yeah,
that was a great fight. A lot of fun.
Fight. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, man. I just had to bring up that was 17 years ago.
That's insane. You start talking 17, that start creeping on 20. And then you can't wrap your head around it.
No.
Ryan Garcia was arrested on suspicion of felony vandalism on Saturday at the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills after allegedly causing over $15,000 of damages. Garcia's attorney said police took him to a local hospital for evaluation and treatment. He's since been released. I think we just have to, each week that goes by, maybe a couple times a week, you and I are reevaluating our theory with this kid. When I was saying, yeah, he's working, and then I'm like, no, this kid is zapped.
He's on drugs. He's on drugs. This is
he's clearly having manic episodes. If they're brought on by drugs, then so be it.
This is Ozzy Osbourne. This is Jimmy Page. This is classic rock star, destroy a hotel room, and then you find out later, like, oh yeah, they have bipolar disorder, self-medicating.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going on with him. I mean, I think there's rock star behavior where there wasn't anything wrong with those people. They just thought this is
on drugs
to do.
Right.
Oh, I'm drunk and I'm on drugs and I'm throwing a TV out the window because that's what I've heard you're supposed to do.
Right.
And then I think there's someone who's routinely, social media didn't exist when that stuff was happening. You routinely read this guy's tweets. It's just manic. It's bipolar. It's all over the place. He's talking to people that aren't there. He's in his mind, he's talking in riddles. I don't. It's not going to end well.
No, unless someone intervenes like shortly.
Yeah, I mean very shortly.
And they mandate him to be on medication. Now, have you heard anything? He said it, and I don't know how true it is. Does he now have like a handler? What is that called? When like someone is in charge of you?
Yeah, when it's what's it called when someone takes over your the Britney Spears thing?
Yeah.
What was that called? A conservatorship.
Conservatorship, yeah. Is that what's happening now? That's what he claims is happening.
Yo, this is insanity. I just went on his Twitter.
Yep.
While we spoke about that, and the first thing I said, it says, I feel like I'm Ryan Spears, aka Britney Spears. This sucks. I never hurt anyone. I've only ever loved everyone, prayed for people, and tried to make a change in this cruel world. I love you, Jesus Christ. Amen. I don't know what's I don't know, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Nobody seems to be talking about it. It's odd, man. It's like this stuff seems to happen. And in other words, if you notice how Kanye's mental illness is pushed aside because he's generating money. This kid's generating money. It's never really brought into public consciousness until that person is either has stopped making money or done something so egregious that they have to be stopped. Kanye has been, bro, he is out of his fucking mind.
Oh yeah.
If you listen to him talk, and he wears
a mouthpiece around.
Yeah, but I'm talking dime store psychology. You're like, oh, this
Yeah.
guy is
He's crazy.
Yeah, this guy has narcissistic personality
Yeah.
disorder.
Yeah.
He's zapped. He's bipolar. Just throw things at him. He's got it.
Right.
But if you're generating money, no one's going to be like, yo, let's get you well. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
If Ryan's able to fight, we still don't know what happened there because that's just bouncing. It's like it's a tennis volley. We're hearing he took this, and it was proven that there was uh ostarine in those um what are they called, supplements that he was taking, et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera. So is he going to get cleaned? Is that going to be what? Is the L going to be wiped off of Haney? We still don't know what's going on there. Is he suspended? Is he going to be? The joke that me and you spoke about is, oh, you're going to give him 6 months. That's what he would have waited anyway.
Right.
You
Right.
said, and it was a brilliant point. No. You want to do 6 months. You can't go to the gym. You can't, there needs to be some sort of mandate here.
Him and Devin Haney are also claiming Oscar didn't pay them.
I'm going to touch on that. I'm going to
God.
touch on that. I have that in the news because again, this is really getting strange here. But I'm really seemingly on this podcast turning to an Oscar De La Hoya defender. I don't know if it's because I was a fan of him as a fighter. I think he's usually right as a promoter.
I feel the same way. Canelo said Oscar stole his money, and Oscar usually comes back with facts like, no, this is what you agreed to. This is what we paid you.
Right.
That's that. Yes, of course, this is what I made.
Yeah.
I put the money up.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Vin.
All right. Yeah. So I was hearing what they were talking about, what Eddie was talking about next for Jack Catterall. I heard Rougarou. Eddie Hearn has said he's now sent an official offer to Arnold Barbosa's team to fight Jack Catterall next.
I like that.
Okay with that fight. I like that fight.
I like it a lot.
Me wanting to see Rougarou, I think, is the same reason you do. Is what we think of Haney, or you and I think of Haney, and what we saw in that fight. Is he done? Is he too big for 40? I don't know. What's going to happen there? I don't know. Olekjsandr Gvozdyk has declared that he's considering moving back down to cruiser after the Tyson Fury rematch, so he can attempt to become the unified WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO cruiserweight world champion for a second time. That's crazy. He said
he's chatting shit.
Well, he's also saying he's got to eat. He's got to eat all the time to keep making heavyweight.
Oh, really? Okay.
I had never heard anyone complaining about having to eat too much.
Yeah, right.
But me and you are Italian, so what do we know?
Yeah, right.
But he's saying he's got to eat 3 big meals a day to put, to bulk up or
God
whatever.
forbid. Yeah. I ate 3 big meals right before we did the show.
Right. I just had 6 meals before we hit record. Deontay Wilder's fiance, Telly Swift, has reportedly now been granted a temporary restraining order against him, as she has claimed he abused her on multiple occasions over the past 6 years. Swift alleges that Wilder choked her at least 5 times, spit on her several times, and once shoved her face in a pillow for so long that she nearly suffocated. All of his fans were coming to his defense. Wilder fans, PBC fans, whoever, he's not with PBC anymore, but they were still coming to his defense. I think what people forget there is he had a similar charge. When was that beat? Like 2012?
Yeah.
2014?
In Canastota.
Different girl in Canastota.
Prostitute.
So, to me, right, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not opposed to saying, let's look into this. Who is this person? Well, he just lost. Is she trying to get out of there? Maybe she's terrible. I'm not opposed to, the antenna going up. I start being less sympathetic when you start seeing a pattern.
There's a history.
Yeah.
This is a guy who
I've told you personally, I think he's cooked in the head from the beatings he's taking.
Yeah.
And this happens to a lot of people, a lot of fighters end up being abusive when
football players,
CTE, kill all the people, kill themselves, blow their brains out. This is another one that's not going to end well. No. Supposedly his mom told him, please retire.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, B. He's so dumb as a man. Forget that I don't like him as a fighter, right? He's so inherently stupid I don't know if he's smart enough to walk away, because the fact of the matter is, you and I was more adamant, but to some degree, we agreed that he was done after the Fury trilogy. You didn't agree in the definitiveness that I did, and you proved me right. You proved me wrong, because he beat Hellenius, in that round. I thought whoever he got in the ring with, didn't matter who it was over. Ends up it happened the next time, and then the next time, he's done. He looks like Bambi out there. It's bad. I think we'll see him fight again, and I think it's only going to get worse. He's stupid to begin with. Before taking blows to the head, he's a dummy.
Right
now, you're taking concussive shots to the head, and things are happening to your brain that aren't supposed to happen, and you're already a moron.
Right, and he's a relatively small heavyweight, and he's fighting these big 280-pound guys.
Yeah, if we're talking weight, he's borderline tiny. I mean, he's probably a dude that could make cruiser, if you think,
maybe. I mean, he don't have an ounce of fat on him. That guy.
That's true. Yeah. That part's true.
Yeah,
that part's true. Yeah, he's like anywhere from 210 to 220, but all muscle.
Right.
But he's not far from being a cruiserweight. Maybe he couldn't make it. I guess that was more my point. He's close to being a cruiser.
Right.
Much closer to being a cruiser than a heavyweight like Fury.
Than these super heavyweights.
Or these super heavyweights,
So he's taking that punishment from those big guys. He has a history of violence towards women in particular. And again, my feeling oftentimes on this stuff is this is what she now feels comfortable to report. And from what I read, she's afraid because he lost that in the past, I guess he's come home and he's not taking these losses well.
Correct. I read something very similar. This is,
she's fears she's getting out now before.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine a football player or a boxer, especially in the heavyweight division. Unfortunately, look, we happen to love a violent sport, and these guys they're violent for the most part. A lot of guys, this is the sport they got into to try to curtail violence.
Correct.
A lot of guys can't turn that off.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Not,
and again, this isn't the cliche stuff where it's like, oh, never hit a man, or you know what I mean? No, they'll just beat the shit out of anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
man, woman, dog,
of course.
Kid.
I wanted to make it a point, and you backed me up, that this isn't an isolated incident, because it is being reported as one, and a couple people came out and said, no.
Yeah. No, he's had some problems, and again, I don't know the rumors around Rumorville. Apparently, recently, I think he was sleeping with his brother's wife.
Okay.
Or something like there's a whole, this is not his whole structure.
Yeah.
Is not well right now.
Yeah.
And
he's getting beat up over and over again in the process as this is falling apart.
Right. So his career, his personal life,
it's clicking at the same time on all cylinders, not in the good way.
Not in a good way.
Yeah. I mean, Garcia, Wilder, these are things to keep an eye on. Again, not in a good way.
No, the Garcia stuff, I just saw something where he said, like, they're going to kill me, and it's like, who's they?
Yeah.
Who's going to kill you? Yeah. And then people are responding to him like, are you tweeting from jail? Right. Are you still locked up? Did they let you go? Did they,
Right. Well, I think what he's being led.
Is he getting like an ROR? Like, are they just bringing him in and letting him go and giving him a desk appearance ticket?
I mean, he's been released. So as we're recording.
Right. So it probably wasn't even bail, right? I mean, he's
probably released on his own recognizance.
That's what I'm saying. He gave him an ROR. So then he gets his phone back, and now he's sitting in. Again, this is like, I don't think he understands. Again, we've said, he's either way smarter than everybody else or way dumber than everybody else.
Yeah.
There's no in between. So he's either fooling himself like, oh, they got me locked up, and it's like, but you're live streaming.
Yeah.
From where?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Then he does those little recording rooms you can do on Twitter.
Okay.
It's like you and like 6 people.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll look in it, and it'll just be like 6 girls that he doesn't know, and they're just talking incoherently. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. They're on his thing. Like they're not gone. You can
Yeah. Right. Right.
But I think there's another thing, man, with like the generation below us and the ones below that sort of like worship at the feet of these guys like Andrew Tate. I think he puts things in their heads like they're trying to get me, and Ryan is sort of mimicking that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's honestly like a whole other podcast. You know what I mean?
Right.
On those snake oil salesman dudes who get these kids to buy their,
join my university.
Yeah. That this doesn't exist. It's not real.
There was a guy who had elected office, not too long ago that was doing the same shit.
Yeah, there was.
Fucking
who failed at everything that he did.
Yeah. Oh God.
So yeah, all right. So we talked about Usyk possibly going down a cruiser. As you said, you think he's chatting shit. I don't know what I feel about that. There is something to be said of if and when he beats Fury again, what do I do? Who is there?
I just sent you a text.
Yeah, I saw it's something about Fury being drunk or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so there's another one. Is this not going to end well?
I don't think this is going to end well either, bro. I just don't. I don't think that this is going to end well.
Did you watch it? I'll read what it says.
Yeah, I watched it.
Got escorted out of a bar and face planted on the concrete on the weekend. Does he really eat it? Like is it bad?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's him. It's
no,
it's not.
I'm looking at the still and it's him. I don't need it. That's not hitting play.
So I don't know if he's going to blow up again. This summer might not be good for him.
Yeah.
I hope he gets it together.
Me too.
He's another guy, to your point about taking shots to the head. Look, man, he had 3 nasty fights. 2 of the fights with Wilder were nasty. The first one and the last.
He got slumped.
Yeah.
There was a couple guys that we don't. I don't mean this downplay. Maybe we don't think highly of. Otto Wallin was landing shots on it.
Right.
It's a big heavyweight. Landing clubbing right hands.
And a clubbing right hand from Ngannou.
And yes, they dropped him. So now we're talking punch resistance. He looked, look, man, these guys, I hope all these guys get it together because
Me too.
there's I don't like this guy, and then there's I wish bad on this person. You know what I mean? And that's totally different. Well, if he's beating this girl, I do wish bad on him. If he touched her and he touched the other girl, and it seems like they just the other time just paid for it to go away.
Yeah.
If he touched them in any manner, then I do wish bad on him. If he didn't, and it's just
I never thought, and I think you agree with me, what we thought about him as a fighter, notwithstanding, I don't think Wilder's a good guy.
No, I think he's a piece of shit.
Right.
I want to catch a body in the ring.
Yeah. And then just doesn't walk it back. Like very easily could have walked it back and been like, look, I'm just trying to sell a fight. I misspoke. You know what I mean? I don't really want to see these guys hurt.
Correct.
And then when he thought he did kill Helenius, he had a fucking breakdown at the press conference after because
was talking about Pritchard Cologne and yeah. I just don't think that he is
he has a mental capacity to have fucking empathy. That's
and the moral fiber there is thin to me. If you're a fan of his, go ahead, have at it. Eddie Hearn has mapped out a potential plan for the heavyweight division. Joshua Dubois for the IBF on September 21st. I like that fight because I think Daniel Dubois is really good. Usyk Fury 2 on December 21st. We kept hearing it was going to be October. If this guy's face planting in bars, I don't know about that.
I don't think
and then winners meet for all the marbles in April, May of 2025. If Usyk packs up Fury a second time, does it more convincing, I don't. I guess it depends on if you see any validity in him saying he wants to go back down again.
Yeah.
And I don't need to see Usyk Fury a third time.
I don't really need to see Usyk AJ a third time.
Oh, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's what I meant. My apologies, man. I'm a little bit out of it. No, I don't
No,
need.
it's fine.
I don't need to see. Yeah, I don't need to see Usyk AJ a third
No,
time.
it's kind of like the result of this, like let's just call it like let's say like tournament style thing, like where they have a few fights, down the line matched up. Usyk holds a victory over everybody involved.
Right.
So it's almost like, spoiler alert,
I mean, at this point, I'm not saying I'm more interested because they're better, but these like peripheral guys that are kind of waiting for their shot.
At least it's something we don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe a guy snipes Usyk,
right.
and we get a new guy in the mix.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Not that I want to see Usyk get sniped. He's my favorite athlete.
Neither do I.
But I'm saying
it seems like there's a rejuvenated Joseph Parker out there. There's a Big Bang Zhang. It's like, I'm not saying they're better opponents than Fury, but is Zhang Usyk interesting? I don't know.
In a few years, I'd rather not go through Usyk's heavyweight resume to listen to some bozo. Oh, he ducked Zhang and fought fucking AJ for a third time. Was that necessary?
Right.
And it's like, well, actually, it
kind of was, man.
It kind of was.
Yeah. But if he wants to go that route and fight guys that are kind of lingering around, okay.
Right.
I just, to me, I'm always someone who pushes for things to be run back or pushes for trilogies when they were just brilliant. I know I saw no reason in Bud and Spence running it back.
No, I don't think anybody else did, for that matter. That's why it didn't get made. They were
right. Julio Cesar Martinez tested positive for S5 diuretics and other masking agents around his win over Angelino Cordova back in March.
Dude,
March
why
30th.
are we hearing about this now?
I know, very odd. And so has been suspended by the Nevada Commission pending further investigation. What's April, May, all of April and May, and a week or two into June for this to happen. These Reynosos, my good friend, my pal, my buddy. You got to start talking about where they're
the Reynosos, right?
Man. You just got to.
I mean,
I'm not saying anything.
Oscar Valdez pops hot. Canelo pops hot. This guy pops hot. I mean, guys, we explained the Mexican meat issue on here. We thought we think we think we did, at least
I thought we did.
We followed the trajectory of the reasonable doubt, so to speak.
Sure.
But now we're getting into, come on. I mean, this is like,
if you're talking about diuretics,
we go benefit of the doubt with these guys, with these Reynosos, right? And then the next week, it's like they're busting into the fucking jewelry store again.
Right. How many benefits of the doubts given? Like, that's why I said I wanted to make sure we brought up that the Wilder thing wasn't, isolated, because when anyone does something fucked up, bro, me and you are literally the antithesis of perfect.
Right. Of course.
The things we've done over our lives. So this isn't some sort of moral high ground.
Nah.
Like, we've never done anything.
Right.
It's right. I don't like that game that people do with anything, not just with athletes, with entertainers. It's like it's the scarlet letter, as if people have never done anything and they're like wrong. But there are things that are more and less forgivable. There's a sliding scale.
Sure.
When you're talking about, beating a woman when you're a heavyweight champion, and she's tiny, and you're laying a hand on a woman, I ain't hearing it. That's one.
Yeah.
B, we're also talking about people pissing dirty. B, and what does that mean? You're using an unfair advantage in a sport where people die.
Sure.
We joked, bro, I don't give a fuck if someone starts hitting 85 home runs because they're on the gas.
Right.
Who's getting hurt? You'll probably tear more things because of what happens to you from it breaking down your body. You know what I mean? Right. I don't think I care if they use gas in hoops. I mean, it's not real. When we were young, people used to punch each other in the face. I mean, Bill Lambier would hit somebody. But now, with tic-tac fouls, go ahead, take the gas. You know what I mean? But football, that's dangerous.
I think they are.
Oh yeah,
in the NBA.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I think
there's dudes who look like Wilder that are running the point.
Right. And and it's the amount of miles that these guys 82 games.
Yeah, the wear and tear on their
wear
body.
and tear, and they're playing like 17, 18 years.
Yeah. I can tell you Embiid's not on anything. I gotta get with this fucking guy hurt every other week.
That guy's like an old
he's like an old something.
He's like an old give him some.
Can we get him on this fucking S5 diuretic?
And my guy, Jalen Brunson, this poor bastard.
Yeah.
He's like a wounded war vet.
I mean, a diuretic, being S5 diuretic, are they implying that they're using it as a masking agent?
Yes.
Because
that
wouldn't be for cutting weight.
No, but that's the I forgot what fighter it was.
There wasn't just this S5 diuretic. There were other ones too. So these motherfuckers.
Right. And of course, they're taking a diuretic because they're making a weight that's not
natural.
If they're not taking steroids. What they're saying is, no, this is like what guys do to beat a test. Then there's like guys will take they'll take like women's period drugs when girls are on their cycle to combat bloat.
Right.
They'll take that because it does exactly that. It helps you like lose weight and combat the bloat and gets everything out of your system.
And the fact that they went out of their way to make it a point to say masking agents, who knows?
Yeah, bro.
What he was on.
He's probably on like a walking pharmacy.
Yeah. So you want this guy to go to the island, right?
Send him. What do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens here? Does Angelino Cordova? What's happening here? What's happening
right.
with Garcia? We're getting these reports and we're getting no follow-up.
You know what, Ben? It's what kind of follow-up, do you need? What you have always said is if we had a central commission, there would be a unified commission. There would be an ability to say you can't fight under any sanctioning body. We'd have separate countries, right?
Yep.
That would be affiliated with the commission.
Yep.
Can't fight in Mexico, can't fight in the United States, can't fight in England, can't fight in Canada.
Yep.
All right, so they're going to fight on a barge outside of.
Yeah, and if we're pushing you onto that barge, then have at it. If you're not going to.
Right.
I mean, to say that he's been suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission doesn't mean anything to me.
No, he's go fight in Texas.
Yes. He'll be on, or go to Juarez or something.
Right. And not every state, like I know, like Nevada, New York, California, like if you're suspended in Nevada, you're not going to fight in New York, California. But
right.
Like I think, what was it? Margarito was fighting in Texas.
Yeah. And then you even go further down the rabbit hole, B, with places that, would you start going to, I'll go to Minnesota.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Because I can definitely. This next bit of news, it's a two-part piece of news, and I don't know if it contradicts itself. Manny Pacquiao is reportedly considering returning at age 45 to face Mario Barrios next. Potential fight could be for the WBC welterweight world title as Terrence Crawford has been made champion and recessed. Then, announced, Manny Pacquiao will face risen MMA fighter Chihiro Suzuki in a 150-pound boxing exhibition fight on July 28th in Japan. That's a month away, and it's an exhibition. So I don't know if that cancels out him wanting to try to get another form of a belt against Barrios. I don't understand really either of these things. And if I start going down a dark rabbit hole that you and I do when we speak personally about some of these guys that we believe gambled away hundreds of millions of dollars.
So that was my next question. Is Manny, is the money not there?
I don't believe that the money that people think is there for Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. That is my opinion. That is not, I have no data to support that. Don't sue me for libel because I'm not saying that is the case. I'm saying that a guy that's 45 and a guy that's 47 that are still engaging in these fights, be it in Japan, be it in Abu Dhabi, be it in Dubai, in these exhibitions. If you and I do back of the napkin math on what Floyd should be worth, and Manny should be worth, you are not putting a fucking pair of boxing gloves on.
Right.
So
the only excuse, and I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm saying just devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Is that these exhibitions, or whatever you want to call them, are so lucrative.
Yes. And there's so little to lose.
So little to lose. And what's being reported that they're making 10 times that.
And I don't think that's the case. I think they're lucrative. I think they're lucrative.
Right.
I don't think they're the levels of lucrative. I don't think they're Saudi lucrative. I don't think they're 100 million lucrative. I don't think a Manny Pacquiao Mario Barrios fight is lucrative, no matter how you slice it.
Not at all.
Okay, Manny gets 5 million if on a good day, if people care, they take away half. Look, the one thing I wanted to correct when I said I don't know any of that, I factually know they admitted that Floyd and Manny both admit they gamble. I wasn't saying I'm guessing whether or not they gamble or not. They absolutely gamble.
They gamble, right?
You and I are saying we don't know.
Is Manny still an elected official?
I honestly don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I don't know there. I don't, we have terms here, I don't know if that's applicable there. As a fighter, Manny's old. As a politician, he's a baby. So if that, it's 45 as a kid, as a politician, but I
don't know like what level.
Neither do I. I don't know if it's local. I don't know if he's the Schmohawk that's at your local VFW hall, or if he's like a real fucking guy. Is this like
is
this Manny Pacquiao like the Dick Cheney of the Philippines, or is he like the Schmohawk that wears the what was the group that Barney Rubble and Fred were in?
The Moose Heads?
Is that what it was? They wore something on their heads.
Yeah. Oh no, that was they were supposed to be the Elks Club, but it was like
they were supposed to be some like Freemasons, right?
Yeah, the Elks.
Yeah. But what was it?
I got to look it up now.
So my question to you is: do you think Manny Pacquiao wears one of those hats on his head while he's
like a fez?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he does.
Yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya. While you're looking, I'll move on because
loyal. What were they? The loyal
water buffalo.
Water buffaloes.
Yeah.
That should be our crew.
I like it.
The
Yeah.
Nockies, aka the water buffaloes.
We got to get hats made.
Agreed.
All right, get on
to be worn on air.
Yeah. All right.
Oscar De La Hoya firing back at Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney after they both tweeted that they haven't been paid for their fight. Guys, if you hadn't seen it, Ryan was saying, "Where's my money? I haven't got a dime." Then this Devin Haney chimed in, "Me too." Hey, guys, let me explain something to you, because while I am certainly not a professional boxer, I'm in the entertainment business. The way that money is paid, you don't get your hand held up and go to the back and get a check, you fucking nitwits. It was a few weeks back. There's typically 90-day cycles. Some are 120, but there's typically 90-day payment cycles in companies like this. So to even think that or say that, they cannot contain their stupidity. These guys do not have a governor, Brendan.
No.
And whoever is in this sport and has a governor, mad respect for them.
Right. So
not completely make yourself. The amount of times Tank Davis tweets something and deletes it, thinking that people aren't screenshotting
it. Yeah.
The amount of times that these pinheads are saying this. So before I'll just say what Oscar said, B, and then we'll cover it, because you do the same thing. You own your own business. There's people pay you, you pay people. You know what I'm saying? So we can talk about that.
Yeah, you get paid on a net 30. Sometimes you get paid on a net 60.
Yes.
But for them,
and B, I'm telling you, in entertainment, you can get into 90 and 120.
Absolutely. And Oscar explained it, I believe, right?
So I'm going to read. This is Oscar's statement. He ain't having it with these buffoons anymore. No. Think what you want about them. As we have done with all of our fighters, Golden Boy paid Ryan and Devin exactly what they are owed under their contracts. As with all pay-per-view events, revenue comes in over time, and additional payments will be made when more money is received. If they aren't aware of this fact, we would hope their managers are. Or perhaps Ryan and Devin should pay more attention to their contracts than their social media feeds. Perfectly said. Guys, some people are just getting billed for buying that pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
You think they got the money yet? Some people like B and I just got it a few weeks ago for buying that fight whenever it was. I can't remember the date now.
So their guarantee is what it's called.
Correct.
Is probably, what was it, like $5 million?
Probably, with a ton on the back end.
Right. So they got the $5 million under the Ali Act.
Correct.
If they make their way in and the second they ring walk,
correct,
they get the money.
Correct.
Now, they're saying they didn't get that. If they didn't get that, yes, they have a case. Oscar just comes out. There's no response from these dudes when it goes, no, you got paid under the contract.
Correct.
Everything else is contingent
upon these monies being paid.
Royalties.
Correct. This is like record sales, guys.
Right.
You don't come out the first week and do well and ask your label, where's my money? Right. That's not how this works.
Right. I mean, even if they ship platinum, you got to wait because you have to pay it back.
Exactly. When people talk about shipping platinum, the words are very important, just like these contracts are very important.
Right.
We're shipping platinum. I remember Method Man lost his mind with the second album. Why are you saying shipping platinum? Why are you saying shipping? He was mad at Russell.
Yeah.
Def Jam, because he's like, what if it wasn't to succeed to that level? What if it went gold?
Right.
Then you start hearing about returns. And all of this is the same way. If this was predicated upon doing 1 million buys and they didn't do 1 million buys, then all of that language becomes different.
Right.
Stop being stupid, you morons.
Right. And if they got anything, to put this in terms of record sales, they ship platinum, it sells 750. Correct. The record label has to buy back 250.
Correct.
And guess who eventually foots the bill for that off of their advance and off of the initial payment is the art.
Exactly.
Because the label is the casino and they never fucking lose.
They never.
So let me tell you something.
So the next fight, you're going to get 250K less than you think you were.
Yep.
Instead of getting 3.5, you're going to get 3.25.
And they're going to say that you didn't sell enough, which is, and I love him as a fighter, but this is the issue with Terrence Crawford being mad at Bob. This is the issue probably with Manny at some point getting pissed off at Bob later in his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Bob said, okay, well, we set this up for you to sell X amount of pay-per-views, and it didn't. And that's why Bob essentially said the pay-per-view model is dead. That's why they went back to ESPN.
Yes.
He's putting fights on ESPN and letting ESPN promote the pay-per-views.
But bro, think about it, B. How many times, what do you do? What do you do as an artist? What are the 3 letters we've been hearing since we were kids? Blame the label. Yo, sometimes it is, man.
Yes.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not.
Look,
this fight was very, you and I murder promotions. We were talking about months ago, however long, was it a year now? Triple G Golovkin.
Yeah.
Triple G Canelo 3, and we were like, bro, I haven't seen a word.
Horribly promoted.
Everyone knew about Ryan and Devin.
Yeah.
Everyone knew about Ryan and Devin.
Promoted really well.
The bar on my block, B, I don't know if they're going to start doing it, starting with this. I've never seen this in all the years it's been there. I drove by it, and there's a sign for Tank and Frank Martin.
Are you going to go?
I don't know, because
I enjoy it. I'll tell you why.
Yeah, all right,
you wind up spending more money.
Yeah, of course. But here's the thing. I don't have when you go with Tommy, when you go with the guys up there, I wouldn't be in there with boxing people. And
gotcha.
That's not enjoyable for me.
Right.
I can't listen to the who's this guy. I can't listen to the I don't think there's a sport with worse casual fans, and we've joked about that word casual on the show, that we think it's corny, that it's some sort of slur.
There isn't. I mean? There is not. There's a casual event, which is the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Because one game.
Correct.
So this is like being at a Super Bowl party, which I hate going to Super Bowl parties.
Correct. Well, especially if it's your team and you really want to watch it.
Right. And you go there, and it's a bunch of people who don't watch the sport except for one day a year, and they start asking a ton of questions, and it's like you have a Google machine in your fucking hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what happens at these type
Now,
of
I
events.
don't mind if someone asks me like technically what's happening
No,
what
that's
should
interesting.
happen.
That's
That's
interesting.
interesting. And I will be like, because they're interested.
Yeah, and I appreciate that interest.
But if they're like, oh, this guy sucks, and I'm like,
or just, I mean, really offhand, like Tyson would kill this guy.
yeah.
Like, well, Mike's almost 60 and he was a heavyweight. This guy is smaller than my kid. We're not even in the right
weight class, stratosphere. Yeah, come on.
It's like
We're barely in the right sport.
Right.
Yeah. How do you think this guy would do in MMA? He'd get his ass kicked.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's never wrestled before in his life. He's been boxing since he's 12.
Devin Haney, Sandor Martin purse bids are now scheduled for June 18th. Fight ordered by WBC as a mandatory defense of Haney's WBC super lightweight world title. What do you think happens there? Does he not take that fight? Because when Ryan beat him up, and you and I said, take these potential positive tests, take all of that away. He's getting hit on the button with left hands. He's not really that good. He's been overrated. He's been perfectly managed. He lost a little much. He lost 2 in a row. He lost 2 of 3. He lost to Lomachenko, beat Rougarou, lost to Ryan, got destroyed. I think if Tank went up, he would destroy Devin Haney. I think Teofimo Lopez would knock out Haney. I think Subriel Matias destroys him. He might be in a situation where he's got to fight this guy because your options are getting dog walked. I guess you can go with the fact that Sandor Martin doesn't have a lot of pop. Didn't he drop Teo?
Yeah, but did they call it his last 2 fights he's won by knockout?
Correct. And he's really crafty.
Yes.
I think he's really good.
He's like really awkward.
He's really awkward. He's got a couple of
southpaw.
He's got a couple of bad losses, meaning I think he lost to Yigit. Maybe I'm wrong. I think Sandor Martin.
Yes, he did. He did. Good call.
Yeah.
And he lost 11 years ago when he was 20 or 19.
I don't want to use the word not count, but I don't necessarily count those types.
I don't.
When was the Yigit fight?
6-7 years ago.
Yeah, I thought Sandor Martin, for whatever it's worth, I thought he beat Teofimo Lopez. I thought he eked out a decision. So what is your view here, B? Does he fight him? Does he's really in a situation where moving forward, it's going to be very tough to manage him in that way that I hate, where someone is treated with kid gloves, because even those guys, I think Mike could beat him.
I think like you said, he's at a real crossroads here in terms of like, do I go through this murderer's row of guys, correct, or do I try to beat this guy? I really buckle down and try to beat this tough Spanish guy, Sandor Martin. He's gonna have to fight Martin.
There's no way to go, B. If he goes up, he's dead. His frame is built to go up eventually, but he's dead.
Buddy, I think they know that now.
Yes.
Like, these motherfuckers are going to get real quiet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, bro, I was going to say months. How many years has it been? He got his head flown by Keandre Gibson in sparring. People say that doesn't count. No, fair enough. But when you're on Queer Street and your father's jumping up in the ring to stop him from getting beat up.
But we talked about Wilder. It's a different thing, but there's a history here now.
Yeah.
Right? So now we start putting things in line.
Yes.
Then you have the Linares thing, and people say, yeah, I'm one of them. Yeah. Linares catches everybody, but the reaction was poor.
Correct.
And Ryan Garcia basically trained to do one thing to him You know what I'm saying? And that's land a left hook, land a big left hook.
And what did they do to stop that from happening?
Nothing.
What adjustments were made?
No.
And think about it, B. Honestly, when Linares hit Loma walking in with that little right, put him on his back pockets, and Loma's fuck, and pop right back up. Did you ever question Lomachenko's chin after that?
No.
I absolutely was like, see, when he hit
Yeah.
I was like, see, you see this motherfucker's what?
Right.
I fucking knew this motherfucker is chinny.
But it's also his defensive positioning is terrible.
It's awful.
And
he's not on balance when he gets clipped.
No, and his reaction to punches coming back at him is not. He's got bad defense. Let's just call it what it is. His defense is bad.
He does.
He's got bad defense.
He got fucking whacked around by Lomachenko.
Right.
Go back and watch how many times.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, 3-4 punch combination.
And they got whacked around by Ryan.
Yeah. You're just getting hit by a little guy. And you're again, a welterweight. Lomachenko is a tiny, right.
And we
super feather.
And we're not defending Garcia. We're just saying there was a punch. There were punches to avoid. He did not avoid them.
Correct.
Even after getting hit with them. Correct. Even after getting almost sparked out. I believe it was the second round of that fight.
Correct.
And doesn't do anything to fix it, and then gets knocked down in the 7th after cruising. And it was just Ryan's waiting there to hit him.
Yep.
So anyway,
I think if you're going in there against Sandor Martin different, he has stabbed a couple guys. Maybe he's got his man strength now. He's still not old. He's only 30. Maybe he's coming to his own, not as a puncher, but as someone who can keep you honest. And when you're chinny like Haney, who knows?
Right.
You know what I mean? And when you're stopping guys, that fight was this weekend. I'm picking Sandor Martin.
I'm gonna have to agree with the great Pazzini.
Lastly, Jared Anderson is now with Sugar Hill Stewart ahead of the fight with Martin Bacoli. So I don't know, we talked about the insanity of him running from cops and whatever he was doing last time.
Yeah, whatever happened with that?
What?
Whatever happened with that?
Why do we keep reporting on crimes, B, and there's no follow-up?
There's no consequences.
So this weekend, Mike Juba killed his family, and that there's just no follow-up.
Then the guy's like, I'm going to go train with this guy in a different state. So he's allowed to leave the state he's in to go train somewhere else. Like, who are their lawyers? Because I want that lawyer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Another tall, long heavyweight goes to Kronk. They really do have a type that they train, no?
They absolutely do. Absolutely do. Let's see what happens. You know, he's stunk it out a couple of times, and you and I ain't having it anymore.
I'm going to make a point a little later or during this segment. And
yeah, we're about to get into it.
And it not as bad as Jared Anderson, but go ahead.
Yeah. My guy, Oscar Collazo, made a 4th successful defense of his minimum weight title versus Gerardo Zapata. Tough guy.
This was on DAZN, guys.
Yeah, I had a great time
Friday?
watching it. Yeah, Friday night.
Yeah. Yep.
The Broner Cobbs fight was on something Trilla. It was $40.
Thank you for putting me onto that. The Collazo Zapata, by the way, that was dope.
It was a nice little card, nice little scrap.
Certainly.
I'm a big fan of Oscar Collazo. It's going to be tough at that weight to get traction with the mainstream, but he can fight. He's tough.
These guys are 108 pounds.
Yeah, 105, 108, something crazy.
Yeah.
Adrian Broner, Blair Cobbs.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, Broner gets flat backed, loses a tooth, beat up, walks off I'm going to use the word stage because it's what it was. It looked like we were watching club fights be at a moose lodge.
This was at the Water Buffaloes Lodge.
Yeah, it was at the Water Buffaloes Lodge. Broner said, I didn't lose to that N-word. So that's how cooked
diluted he is.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
He's done, and we knew this. I don't think this will be the last time we see him, though.
This is what I want to start talking about when we start saying he's done versus when we're going to see if we're going to see them again. I think you and I think Broner has been done post Maidana beating. Has he looked great?
No.
Then
I'll say for me, like knowing this is it.
Yeah.
We won't
never be at a high level again.
Mikey Garcia. And that was 2017.
Fair. So 7 years. Well, let's say I go on and agree with you. He was thoroughly outclassed by Mikey, who proved not to be natural at that weight.
Right.
And retired early. And
correct.
He got a beating put on him.
Yeah.
So he's been cooked for at least 7 years. I'm not even going to mention that I think we're not going to see him again. We're going to see him again.
We're going to see him again.
Blair Cobb, this will lead to him getting put in there with someone who will short
punish him,
who will destroy him. Anything else to say there, B? We see them both again, and I think they both get beat bad.
Yeah,
next time we see them.
I concur. If Blair Cobbs fights anybody above a top 15 guy,
agreed. He might not be able to eke by a top 20 guy, but absolutely top 15.
Right.
And you get into the top 10,
and you know what, man?
Short-circuited.
Look, I'll say this: props to him. Props to excuse me. Props to Blair Cobbs. And I'll tell you why. Because he had to put up with a lot of shit. Broner was threatening to shoot him.
Yeah, I got shooters with me. My N-words will kill you. We got bodies.
Right.
The kid's always in shape from what it looks like to me.
Right. And that's what we said last week. I said if I was to just someone asked me what kind of fighter is it, like he shows up in shape.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought he stunk to the point where I thought Broner would beat him. That's how
so
bad
did I. We were wrong on that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Michael Hunter Cassius Chaney. Did you watch this? I did not.
Yeah, it's just a blowout decision. Michael Hunter wants another shot at Usyk.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
No.
Dorticos, how did he look? Because we spoke.
Well, he fought a guy. He was a first round knockout.
All right. So
yeah. But again, I brought him and Michael Hunter up last week just to be like, these guys were on a milk carton, and now
we spoke about we were each speaking about. Oh, I thought he was retired.
Right. Yeah. So then he comes back and fights a guy who's ranked like somewhere around 400.
Yeah.
And I don't even count this as like it was like light sparring.
Is that really getting rust off when you spar someone out like that? It's like the Virgil Ortiz stuff. We don't want to see that. We want to see at least someone who's tough, give you some rounds. Callum Walsh, Carlos Ortiz Cervantes.
Another guy, is quick knockout. Callum Walsh will be back shortly. They're really trying to build this kid on this UFC Fight Pass. I hope that they do. They have he's a British guy.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it.
Okay. I just want to. Yeah, I'm never gonna
the highlight
give the UFC $1, so I'm not gonna see. I'm not gonna see this kid, I guess, until he fights someone from another
promotional
outfit that has more cachet to pull. That.
Sure. They'll do a cross thing.
Let's get into they had the undercard, something they've been doing a very poor job at.
Who's doing a poor job?
ESPN Plus.
This is despicable.
All of these apps, they're not just doing a poor job with promotion. They're doing a poor job with not announcing that they are showing the undercards on their apps.
Right.
It started at 7:30 on ESPN Plus. The main event didn't start till 11. So you're meaning to tell me you're not going to promote 3.5 hours of fights of guys that are the next generation?
Bruce Carrington came on after 11 o'clock.
Correct.
So the main event was like midnight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which I know you hated because you need to get your beauty sleep.
Bro, I was like holding my eyeballs open.
Okay. Shushu Carrington versus Enrique Vivas. Very late replacement.
Yep.
I was thinking this guy's from Panama and he can punch. A couple days replacement. You better look out for a while.
Tim Bradley. Let me just Shushu. When it's a late replacement, not only is the late replacement unprepared, but the guy who trained 8 to 10 weeks for the guy that the replacement replaced is also
Oh
unprepared.
yeah, he doesn't. He's not ready for this look.
Right, he's not ready for this look. It's not what he was training for. But a professional like Shushu will take time to, and I hate saying this, download the information.
Yeah,
which is precisely what he did. Did you watch the fight? You watched the fight. We talked during it.
Yep.
Shushu looked a little confused. This guy was awkward, herky jerky. He wasn't getting really hit with anything significant. He was really lining him up to tee him up, and then got back on his jab, and then started putting punches together in the middle rounds, and was punishing him. Great body work.
Going downstairs.
Good footwork. Fantastic defense. I gotta say, he's 27. I know it's only like 11 fights. Enough with these guys. It's time. Move them.
I agree with all that. I want to say that when Shushu's in the middle of the ring and he's using his jab and he lets his shit go, 4-punch combinations, they're tight, they're short, they're beautiful shots. Even if someone's guard up, he splits it. If I have something, and there's not much to critique at this point in his career, you know what I mean? He's doing what he's got to do. He's getting guys out of there. Is that he gets excitable and he starts winging really loopy Wilder-esque shots when he thinks a guy is hurt.
Right. That's a great point.
And the guy is good.
That guy, as he moves up through the ranks, and there's a higher rank guy, right?
Yeah.
That guy's not really going to be hurt.
Correct.
Because they're going to know how to take a punch, how to recover. And if he doesn't stay composed, to your point, there's going to be something coming back at him when he's winging those.
And he's going to throw it with them and catch him.
Right.
Because he's going to, whoever this guy is, we're speaking of at 26, you know, imagine an Inoue throwing in between those shots.
Yeah.
These huge looping shots, you know, all those gifs or however you say it, gifs or gifs of Wilder looking like a buffoon when he throws his shots.
Right.
It's of course it's not that bad because Shushu's an Olympian and you know, very highly touted. And I think of him very highly. I love Shushu.
Yeah.
And I think he's a great kid, by the way. His personality, he's great. He's polite. He's just a great kid. I want him to win.
I do too.
I just want to tighten up. I understand, man. You know, we think he's got to move at 27. We want him in there with a guy, a real guy now.
Got to move.
But what I'm talking, let's move him, but let's tighten up those shots when he gets excitable and thinks the guy's out of there. Now, if you and I were interviewing him right now, and he said, I do tend to do that, but it's because I know nothing's coming back at me, I would say, hey, no problem. But be careful because then it turns into a habit.
I couldn't hear any of the mic in the.
Neither could I.
Okay.
Neither could I. Because I wanted to hear, are they going to tell him to tighten up
I want to
shots?
hear. I think his dad does kind of. His dad's a good guy too.
They're good. They're good. They're good. They're good people.
They're good people. So I think
Vivas would seem a little bit, maybe he was about to go. Maybe he's about to go. Tough guy, by the way. Tough guy. But
he was acknowledging it too. He was like, every time he got whacked hard, he was like, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
He would smile. He would wave him on.
Like,
he would go, all right, you hit me clean.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 click. Short, clean shots from Shushu. Beautiful work. I just like him to tighten those shots up.
Agreed.
When he starts he thinks a guy's hurt. Hey, what did I say, man? Xander Zayas, Patrick Teixeira. I said, B, I'm worried this kid isn't a killer. He absolutely blew him out of the water in the first 2 or 3 rounds, had him cooked. All he needed to do was put his foot on the gas, did not do it, boxed around. This is a Teixeira who has been in there with real guys, beat Adames, who has a belt now, been in there with everyone hovering around at that weight. He's not the same guy anymore.
No.
He had that one shot will get him out of here look the whole time.
Yep.
Zayas did beautiful work and just never put his foot on the gas.
Buddy,
he's not the one, man. He's not the one. Very good prize fighter.
That was what I was going to say. Like,
he's a really good kid. He's a very good prize fighter. That thing I keep bringing up to you and asking you, what is it, B? What is the switch? And I said, I will apologize if he gets him out of there and say, yo, guys, he has the switch in his head, but I haven't seen it and I don't think it's there. All he did was reaffirm to me. he was landing shots upstairs, downstairs, doing what he wanted to. He's got nice foot feints. There were times where Teixeira's head was flying back.
Sure.
There was no, what is that? Is there a newly born fear of hurting people because of some accidents?
I don't think so. I think it's a newly. I don't think he liked when Teixeira fought back, and I think he took his foot off the gas because if I overcommit, I'm going to get caught.
And I'm telling you, that guy was chowder in the first 2.
I concur.
Rounds. I was like,
I didn't realize he had just fought too, so it was like back-to-back camps.
Yeah,
for Teixeira.
Yeah. If, we're doing positive. Xander Zayas looks strong. His shoulders are, big kid, strong.
Something's missing.
Something's missing here, man. Is it as simple? I'm not implying the training is simple. Is it as simple as switching up to someone else? He has the tools. He should have got him out of there.
I can't put my finger on it. I'm just saying, and that was what I wanted to talk about when we got into it, that I'm going to be the first to say I'm not that high on Xander Zayas. I think I've told you privately. I am.
Well, this was to me.
I think they're reaching for a Puerto Rican star.
I don't think. Look, I don't even think it's being hidden at this point.
It's not. Well, because look. What's his face?
They hung their hat on Berlanga. He stinks.
And the kid, what was his name? Diamante, the kid who's in jail for murder of his girlfriend.
Felix Verdejo.
Right. Verdejo.
Oscar Collazo's too small because he is good enough.
Right.
He's absolutely good enough.
And Verdejo, by everyone's account, mine, yours, everyone was like, this kid's the fucking goods. Holy, he's handsome, good-looking kid, had everything. And now he's in jail, rotting.
Never getting out. There needs to be a popular, good-looking a Puerto Rican fighter in the sport. It needs it.
And they signed this kid at 16.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's good. He does a lot of stuff right. I don't know, man. To me, there's just something that's.
Let's just go back to someone like.
I'll say it. The first 2 rounds, he's picking off shots nice. He's jabbing, stepping around, landing the right, and then he either starts tipping his punches and they start to figure him out enough that they can survive.
Yeah, or you said you brought something up. He clipped him with something he didn't like, a straight left hand, and so I don't like that.
And I don't like it, so I'm gonna take a step back and
because I can.
And I'll win.
If you shut
but I'm not gonna risk getting knocked out.
This guy's the former WBO belt holder. Okay, you shut him out at 21 years old, and neither one of us are impressed. That says all we need to say.
You know what? If you guys are impressed, write us in at keotbboxing@gmail.com, keotbboxing@gmail.com, and tell us why you're impressed, or let us know if you agree with us that there's something missing. And if you have your finger on the pulse of what's missing, let us know and we'll read it and we'll talk about it next episode.
If you don't have get you out of here destructive power, you are absolutely in a position to let your hands go and make them stop it.
Right.
Absolutely. Talking the first couple of rounds, I didn't, but I was ready to text you. Oh, B, I couldn't have been more wrong. This is a bloodletting.
Right.
He's flying this guy's head. He's doing whatever he wants.
And all of a sudden, I look at the clock. I look at the fucking rounds. We're in the 9th round, and I'm like, Teixeira looks he had a big cut.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he still doesn't look that uncomfortable. Teixeira's in there, I don't know.
Yeah, I told my guy, not Billy Betts, I told my other guy, take the over in both fights. You'll be golden. They both went over.
Right.
But for him going the distance after how I saw him jump out and just look like he was on another level for about 6 to 9 minutes and then just cruise control, walk around, pity pat, come back with a right hand, roll out of there, just not letting his hands go. I don't know what it is, but
I agree.
And what we're not talking about yet, because he's not ready, they want him to be soon, is what could potentially be waiting at 54. Virgil Ortiz, Tim Tszyu, top of the heap, Bud Crawford. That's a bloodletting. Tim Tszyu and Virgil Ortiz pack this kid up. They smoke on a Xander Zayas back right now.
Right now.
So something needs to be done, because it might be a little bit top heavy, but I don't know if he could beat the Charlo that fights at 54. I don't know if that kid's ever going to fight again at all, or ever fight at 54.
54
but
again,
I'm just throwing things out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's where B and I stand. I think. Look, I said going into this, I don't know if he doesn't do something to impress us here. I'm kind of where I am, and so moving forward, it's not that he gives a shit what we think, but for B and I, we're putting it on this kid to impress us moving forward.
And I'll tell you, I'm going to pick him to win every time until he fights any of the guys that you talked about.
Yeah, if he's around these type guys, you know what I mean?
He's going to win. He's going to win. He took no damage.
I think he'd be like a Brian Castano, I think he might be a guy like that. So maybe that's what they do next. But I mean, this isn't what I wanted to see. It's what I predicted. I picked it to go 10 and to be a UD, and that's what happened. But that's not what we need to see out of this guy, and certainly not what Puerto Rican fight fans want.
Right. I'm not. I'll be the first one to say I'm impressed in terms of he's good. He's good. Yeah. I'm not impressed in terms of he's the next superstar.
Guys, if you're Rican and you're looking for someone, watch Oscar Collazo. You'll get it.
Yeah. And then you can buy him as a souvenir after the fight.
Yes. Cutting our nose to spite our face again, coming up this weekend. Instead of doing it the next weekend where there are no fights and spreading it out, let's split an already small pie in half by putting a pay-per-view over here and then a DAZN card over here, and split the buying public guys. Again. Thanks. So now we have to figure out how to watch this, how not to get spoilers, and have nothing to do next weekend, instead of just taking that open weekend. And it's these guys will, they will cut their nose to spite their face.
It's just,
they will do it over and over again. They're children. They can't figure out how to get this done.
No,
it's a shame.
It's fucking annoying.
Okay, Carlos Adam, we just spoke about him. Carlos Adames, Terrell Gausha, he keeps getting shot after shot, Terrell Gausha. Or maybe I'm making it up.
I'm going to look him up now, and I was actually in the process of doing that because I want to say...
Didn't Terrell Gausha drop Timmy Tszyu?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got 3 losses.
That might be a nice fight.
Hey, bro, he beat this guy, Brandon Lynch.
Yeah.
Keandre Leatherwood. That's a badass name, Keandre Leatherwood.
Yeah, you're born to fight.
Yeah, and he's got 9 losses. I
remember that fight.
And here we go. We got Adames. Adames is a tough Dominican former 154, moves up to 60. This is like a sleeper.
It is.
Fight. It is. And it's for a belt. This is for the WBC middleweight.
Yeah, because with G being gone, with everyone being gone, the Charlos, that's has been. I think basically you and I were talking about Janabek, and the winner of this fight could seemingly unify.
Right.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you're looking at a unification at 60. I think there's going to be a good fight. What do you think about that?
I do too. I don't know what the odds are. But I would say
this Billy Benz?
I would say take the over. Let me see.
What fight you guys talking about?
Gausha's never been knocked out. He's not a knockout artist. The only person to beat Adames is the aforementioned Patrick Teixeira. Carlos Adames, Adames, Billy.
Yeah, I don't have the rounds for this yet, but Adames is -750.
Yeah, I mean, And B, let's just add to that that was a 5 year ago. Patrick Teixeira was
Absolutely.
solid, good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He look, Adamas beat Sergey Derevchenko and J-Rock, who at one point I was huge on. I get that, maybe not people are huge anymore. And I think Derevchenko is hard as nails. Huge. I like Carlos Adames by decision.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm picking.
I think it's going to be a good fight, though.
I do too. I'm gonna say 8-4, good fight. Goucher's 36.
Yeah.
He's a little long in the tooth at this point.
Yeah.
Adames is getting better. So I think it's one guy's on the uptick, the other guy's on the downtick.
Yep.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I think his chin's sturdy enough to where I think it'll go the distance.
Correct.
But all right, let's talk about our guy, Subriel Matias. That one loss to Ananian,
Yeah.
4 years ago. What do we think about Liam Paro?
That's the guy who beat Montana Love, Australian guy.
Undefeated, 24-0.
Yeah.
Billy,
you got odds on this? I'm curious.
Yeah, me too. Billy, Subriel Matias, Liam Paro.
Yep, Matias is minus 650, and the over under 7.5.
Oh,
I like that over.
Paro's never been knocked out. I think
Subriel Matias stops him in 9.
You beat me to the. I'm literally saying that. That's pretty good.
I'm starting because you're a mush, so I need it to be something else.
You're getting it in fast before the Benito Mussolini.
Good move.
Yes.
Good move.
Yes.
All right. Well, then this isn't fun for the viewers.
Did this Billy Betts hit anything on last week? That's the other thing. What's he doing?
Well, we'll get to that.
You never answered me on Saturday. You're giving bets out to everybody else. You just said interesting. You said interesting when I gave you the over-unders.
I think I'm being besmirched.
I'm gonna go for the sake of disagreement. Matias is making a statement here. I'm gonna say it's a stoppage in the 7th.
All right.
Over's
I have
take the under.
I wrote those over unders are getting me hotsy totsy.
Yeah,
so
and that's
back.
not.
So what?
Yeah, well, I'm a busy man.
Yeah, busy beaver. He says over here, big.
he gets bent out of shape. You didn't write me back,
right?
Then you prove to him that you wrote him, and he goes, "I'm a busy man.
I'm a busy man, right?
I don't have time for your nonsense.
Right, for your nonsense, right? But he's sending me screenshots.
It's never anybody else. Imagine working at that company.
No, I can't. They probably all get abused.
Probably break. Yeah, he definitely gets abusive.
There's slave labor over there.
I've heard.
Yeah, little kid,
his kids. He's got them working at cameras.
Right.
He's got them paying rent.
Subriel Matias, Liam Paro. I think Subriel Matias stops him in 9, but
I'm saying 7.
Okay, it's going to be tough for guys to continue to avoid this guy, guys. If you haven't seen him and this is your first shot, watch him.
Take a look. He's a lot of fun.
Gary Antoine Russell versus Alberto Puleo.
All right, Puleo's undefeated. Dominican guy. Billy, we got odds for this one? Because I'm curious.
Minus 650.
All right, so these are all wide 6.5 to 1 favorites, 7 to 1 favorites for the A side fighters in each of the fights that we've said so far. So Vegas is confident in it. Now, is there an over under?
I didn't find one yet.
All right. See, okay. The thing with Buello is he's undefeated, but of 22 wins, only 10 KOs. And that's against limited competition.
Correct.
So I'm saying, again, he can't punch. Russell's going to get him out of here.
Well, I think Vegas agrees with you. It's a 6.5 to 1 favorite.
Right. It's more about the over under.
That's what I'm saying. All right, let's talk a little bit about Russell. He is not the Russell archetype.
Billy, by the way, there's like 6 kids and they're all named Gary Russell.
Yeah,
all
in the family. Yeah, and
love it.
So he does not fight like the more famous brother
at
Gary.
all.
He's a mauling,
crude.
Yeah, crude mauling style. I don't know how that's going to play against Puello. Again, I'm not super familiar with Puello. I guess I'm going to pick. I mean, Russell's got 17 KOs in 17 fights.
Correct.
100% KO ratio.
I like Gary Antoine Russell in 6.
Bill, are you writing these down?
I am.
It doesn't matter. He bangs everything up on Saturday.
I just want to know so we can read back the picks.
He's a booze hound on Saturday, and he doesn't answer questions back.
Yeah, this guy's got drinking a couple of fucking Sud Lights.
Right.
You
hear that?
I'm gonna say Russell gets him out of there. What did you say, Vin? In 6?
6.
I'm going with the 8th round. Stoppage.
All right. Just stay away from my picks.
Okay.
Mussolini.
I think he's going to struggle with him in the beginning. It's going to be tough to kind of get the timing down to.
I can see that.
Puello, and it's going to.
Their style's a bit awkward in DR.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Now we get into the meat.
The co-main event. Our guy, David Benavidez versus the nail, Olekjsandr Gvozdyk, who fought Better Be Evan Philly, lost a tough fight, brutal fight, basically retired. Went away
and now come back.
Yeah, is this his 3rd fight back or 4th?
I'm gonna look it up.
I believe since he's been back, he's won everything.
Again, limited
limited competition, but he was really good going into that.
This is his 4th fight back.
So I think he has 3 knockouts and the 3 soft touches, right?
2. But the first fight back was a 6-rounder, so that's
okay. Yeah, that's tough. He didn't get to work.
Yeah.
Look, man, this is something that comparatively, where I said Xander Zayas goes in there and gets Patrick Teixeira out of there. Now I'm, now I don't need to be excited by David Benavidez because he brings it. He's a goon. Did you see his pic on Instagram in the Shiesty?
No, I didn't see it.
He's on the jet going to the fight in a poo.
Oh, in a poo Shiesty?
Jewels on the jet on his Instagram. I think it's Benavidez 300 is his @
Okay.
I love David Benavidez. He's everything I love in a fighter. The nicest guy in the world when I met him. I always like that balance of someone being a polite guy and humble, but also a goon and a killer, because that's really how people like that move. Going back to the old days, gangsters moved that way. He was polite. His family was polite. They were just really good people. Talked to him for a while. He wasn't quick to get away. Again, he was young. It was a long time ago. It was probably 2016. He was a kid. Olekjsandr Gvozdyk is good, man. I just can't.
This is that light heavy too, bro.
Right.
This is a weight class up. So Benavidez, I believe, still hangs on to his belt at 68, right?
And I think they're giving him an
exemption. And he's testing the water at light heavy. Bill, what do we got in terms of odds of this fight?
Benavidez -700, rounds 9.5.
They have no respect for Gvozdyk. Billy, he's only lost once, and he lost to Better Be Evan, who's top 10 pound for pound in any weight class, and he's -7. I mean, that's just disrespect. See, this is where you get into the fun stuff, B. This is where, if you're a gambler, you just throw a couple dollars on Gvozdyk just because it's a disrespectful number. Now, I don't think he's going to win. I think it's going to be closer than -700.
I'm picking him in the upset.
Wow.
Upset special.
Wow. I think it's a really, I think it's a war. I think it's a war. I think it gets bloody in the literal sense, not
Upset
not
special.
hyperbole. Wow, I like that. I like
Upset
that.
special. I think Gvozdyk hops all over him. I think he's going to overwhelm Benavidez in the first part of the fight. Benavidez starts to come back, but due to Gvozdyk's early onslaught, he doesn't have that, because Benavidez starts slow. Okay, he doesn't have that cushion of stamina, right? In the latter half of the fight, and I think Benavidez makes it close in the middle half of the fight, and Gvozdyk in the latter half of the fight starts to push ahead. So the rounds he banked in the beginning pay dividends for the rounds at the end. And I'm going to go ahead and say Gvozdyk by split decision.
Wow. Now with 7 or 8 to 1, this Billy bets, even though you are Benito Mussolini, he's got to be thinking 100 clams wins me 800 clamorinos, right? Isn't that what he's got to be thinking?
The mush though is in.
Is there ever a situation, Billy, if we get up to 1,000 episodes where you put money on a Benito Mussolini pick?
Can I also
going against a Pazzini pick? So if you pick Benavidez, but then I go with the mush pick, that's ballsy.
I like this to be a tough, rough fight, back and forth. Benavidez wins in a war.
Have you looked at Gvozdyk's box rec pick compared to what he actually looks like? In the box rec pick, he looks like a Russian plumber, okay? Or a clerk in a convenience store. He's like a handsome fucking guy. Like, I think that the odds are coming in based on his box rec pick. Look at the box rec pick, and then look what he normally looks like. It's a terrible picture.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know what he looks like. Billy,
he don't look like that.
Billy, he just turned 37. Gvozdyk. He took a couple years off, so he wasn't taking a beating then. His last loss was a beating to Beterbiev, but that guy's great. I don't
upset special, baby.
I think
upset special.
Look, I think it's a good tough fight. Benavidez wins in a really good fight. I think there's a slimmer possibility he stops him late, very late. But I'm picking Benavidez in a good fight to beat Gvozdyk. And this is not a joke to fight him at all. Whoever wins, this is not a joke.
I'm just going. It's the Ukraine's on a run right now. This Olympic 2012 Olympic team is on a run.
You're crazy because I think Gvozdyk's that good.
Yeah,
and there is no shame in losing to Artur Beterbiev years ago. You know, certainly in his prime. All right, he is older now. He was, it was early 30s then.
Special.
Okay, the main event, guys. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. 12 rounds, a lightweight belt on the line. Tank still doesn't want nothing to do with anyone in the division. They are selling you that this is great. I don't know what B's happy about.
You're reading my mind.
The PBC nut huggers are very much like, this is the one you've been waiting for, and blah blah blah. I mean, it's not the one I've been waiting for Tank Davis. So and with how infrequently he fights, I can't even be like, well, the one after this is going to be the real one, because it might be another 18 months. So I'm
gonna read you a text I sent to my buddies who I also talk boxing with. I have a couple of threads. I said, this is really a fool's gold fight. Martin is ranked 6th or 7th in that division. I had him losing to the Eastern Euro guy. We're being sold a bill of goods here because Tank's previous best opponent is Pitbull and Petraza.
Yep. Sniper Pedraza's what, 8 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Pitbull's now 3 years ago.
Right. Pitbull, tough guy, but
again,
but Tank's hand was hurt. He had the box, which was
right.
great, which is great on his part.
Frank Martin's a good, solid,
a very solid guy.
Good guy. Tank is supposed to be an elite fighter
and a superstar.
And he's not proving it.
No.
This is a step in the right direction. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt with that. I'm glad he's fighting this guy.
Yeah. Who did he fight last?
Who? Tank? Was it Rolly? No, he fought Ryan. Ryan was his last fight.
That was his last fight?
He hasn't fought in a year. He went to prison or whatever, a home confinement.
Look, Artem Hartunian gave this guy fits. Frank Martin.
Right. It's a different style. This is going to be two southpaws going at it. Tank is too patient, hits too hard. He's used to the lights. Martin is not.
Agreed with all of that.
Martin, I think, and Tank is very patient. Tank will just not throw punches the first 2 or 3 rounds and be fine with that.
Billy, I'm assuming there's a line and an over-under because this is a big fight in terms of,
Yeah, there is.
What do you got?
What do you got?
Davis minus 600. The over-under.
This fight being viewed closer than Gvozdyk and Benavidez is wild, man.
To me, that's insane.
Wild and disrespectful to, dare I say, everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the over-under, Billy?
9.5.
Ooh.
Tank by late. Hey, Bill, sorry to bother you. What was the Adamas Goucher odds as well?
Adamas minus 750.
Yeah, yo, this is fucking insane.
This is wild, man. These are
DraftKings
numbers too.
Okay.
Anything else?
Cough.
They'll be close. I mean,
DraftKings free advertising.
DraftKings.
Send us a shirt.
No, I don't. No, I do not want a shirt.
I don't either.
No, I want Scotto. Tank Davis sparks this Frank Martin out. Goes to the body. Freezes him. That's what sets everything up. A shot to the body. Out of there in 6. Jack.
Ooh.
I'm all over. What is it? The 9.5 or 8.5?
9.5.
I'm in love. I'm loving the under.
I love that under.
I think Martin.
This Frank Martin.
Tank lures him in. Martin gets too confident. Once Tank starts to land significant shots in the 4th or 5th, Martin is going to panic. He's going to lunge. He's gonna start. You said the 6th?
Yes, he's gonna go downstairs. He's gonna put money in the bank early. It's gonna set up something up top.
I say he batters him around the 4th and most of the 5th. He gets him. He nips him right before the 6th.
I say the 6th.
5th.
I say body work. I say the body shot set it up. Billy, keep in mind that this Artem Hartunian, who's a solid fighter, gave this Frank Martin all he could handle, and some people think he won. So
this little red hen did. I thought he won.
This little what?
This little red hen.
Who's a redhead?
Hen.
What is a red hen?
It's a saying.
Well, explain, please. Have you ever heard that, Billy?
I have not.
See, he's what? Explain.
I don't want to explain it. Just carry on.
Why not?
This little red hen.
We both think
it's an American fable collected. Yeah, you never heard that before?
No, it probably means a dope if it has to do with you. We both like the under, and we're not even hinging on a close under here. We're both picking not even close to that under, which is wild for us. B. We're usually like, oh man, that's close. This kid's gonna get steamrolled, Billy.
I don't think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be bad, actually. I think that it's
unless Tank looks like shit, next episode needs to be who is he fighting next?
Right.
And it ain't gonna be a motherfucking year.
And I'm gonna say something right now. I've been following this because I am excited for this fight. Tank looks to be in shape. This dude looks to be drama-free camp.
I saw
he looks sharp.
I mean, he was muscular. I seen some bag work. He seems locked in.
And he's in the trenches. He's shadow boxing next to like regular Joes at the gym.
Yes,
like he's just in there, like, let's go.
We've critiqued Tank's outside of the ring behavior. I want him to prove us wrong.
Yeah, this ain't it.
In and out of the ring. I want him to do it.
I
want him to turn around. I want us to become fans
of the fighter. Yeah. I won't become. We said it last episode. He's a real piece of fucking.
He's a piece of garbage. But I want to become fans of Tank Davis, the fighter.
Right. For the sake of boxing, he needs to. And you know what? If he loses, I'm a big Frank Martin fan.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'll be on the Frank Martin bus, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm saying the 5th round, Tank's gonna batter him. Starting in the 4th round, it's going to look okay for the 1st and 2nd round. Tank's
maybe even the tide. Yeah. This Billy Betts has everything written down, and then he's.
But I do agree.
He's going to write me on Saturday and say I didn't answer.
I do agree with Paz. I think a body shot is going to will change the makeup. There you go. Nice. That's why you do what you do. I like that.
Do we have any mail before we get out of here?
Yeah, too quick. Mailbags. We got Fabian. Hope all is well with you guys. I'm gonna keep the ball rolling and also say I'm enjoying the weekly drops. I usually listen to the podcast in 30-minute increments throughout the day, so I'm loving the weekly drop. Anywho, my question is just random. I'm gonna quote the great Pazzini: with a gun to your head, who do you got? Juan Manuel Marquez versus Keith Thurman. Fantasy fight.
Marquez. All day long. Thurman. The only thing Thurman has is he's bigger. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah, bigger guy. Naturally bigger guy.
But
you'd have to take both guys at their prime. We're saying pound for pound, or we're saying when Marquez moved to 47 and didn't look, he just was like really bulky.
I think 47. I think Marquez looking like shit at 47 beats Keith Thurman. How's that?
Okay. All right. Sure. I'll take it.
I think you in good shape at 47 beat Keith Thurman.
We got another one from Matt Heckle. He says, "Hey guys.
Yo.
I wanted to know if you guys have seen the short documentary about Bruce Carrington by the filmmaker Tom Gould named Brownsville Born."
I'm only aware of it. I haven't seen it because I don't know where to find it.
If you just Google it, it comes right up and you can play it. No joke.
But it's not on the YouTube, right? It's on
and it'll play perfectly.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
I watched it last month. Again, it's if you don't love Shushu now, you will love him after this, and if you love him, you'll only love him more.
Yeah, I love Shushu.
It's so heartbreaking that I actually am getting like choked up thinking about it.
I don't know that I need this.
I don't know if you guys know the backstory of
I know his brother was murdered. Yeah.
Went out to I believe they were renting a new video game.
Okay.
And he was coming back from that, and they got him over like just a disagreement in the street, and the kid shot him. And this shows Bruce Shushu's the older brother had sickle cell anemia.
Right.
So he never boxed. But Shushu does, and he has a younger brother. And this is it's worth a watch. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's short. It's a half an hour.
Yeah, I'm
the whole time you just want to give his mom a hug.
Right.
That's all I'll say. And him, of course, and his father. I mean, it's fucking heartbreaking. But this kid is just a great personality.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I recommend anybody watch that. If you're not familiar with that neighborhood, Brownsville, East New York, Cypress Hills, it's rough. It's rough. It's still considered like the most dangerous neighborhood in New York. It has not been gentrified. One of the most
there's a couple places in Philly and New York that haven't been touched, and that's one of them.
It's one of them. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
All right, what do you got, B?
You can hit me at I_no_that_kid on Instagram, at the Killer B24 on Twitter. Hit us at KEOTB Boxing at Gmail, at KEOTB Boxing on Instagram, and at KEOTB Podcast on YouTube. Vinny.
New music from me. Jacinto's Praying Mantis is the new EP. Do me a favor, go to jmtstore.com and sign up for that. There's bundles, there's vinyl variants, there's all that. But if you sign up at jmtstore.com, you'll be on top of everything before everyone else knows. And we respect your inbox. We don't flood you with mail. It's at Vinny_Paz on Twitter, at BoxCutterPazzy on Instagram. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Billy?
I just want to mention we put the first full episode up on YouTube if anybody's interested in looking at your guys'
our mugs, our ugly mugs.
While, you talk here.
People seem to want that. They were asking for it. A couple of my friends are like, I've been looking on YouTube. It's only old episodes. I'm like, you can just listen to it.
Right.
But I've never, personally, I've never watched a podcast.
I don't do that too much either.
But people like it, and
maybe it's the YouTube thing. Who knows? Maybe
I guess
the method.
And we're three handsome devils, so I don't blame them.
Who wants to look at that pussy?
This is look at the three of us. This is bang. Anyway,
it's like a William Morris meeting.
For real. All right, so I'll catch up with you guys next week.
All right, what are they called? The water buffaloes.
next week's meeting of the water.
I'll have the hat ready for next week.
Water buffaloes out. All right, y'all. Peace.
All right, say goodnight, Billy.
See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.